So we have to be fair and just. And from the Al-Kitab, in ta'manhu bi-dinar la yu'addihi ilayk. If you gave him $1 dinar, $1, £1, said, hold this pound, I want it later, he won't give it to you. Except if you stood over him and said, give me my money. So we have to be fair and just. I have to say that the Yahud are better than the Nasara. The Yahud are better. Especially those Jews who are trying to practice their religion. We mentioned yesterday how they have ghulu, and they have shidda, and they have, an aghlal with the rabbis and the biha, how they do it. But generally speaking, they practice their religion better than Christians. So you see the women dressing moderately and modestly. You see them learning their religion. You see them going to Jerusalem. Christians, hadith wala haraj, whatever you want, do whatever you want. Drink khamr, eat khinzi, anything, just do it. That's how they are. But in Al-Islam, we're better than all of them. Not because of al-asabiyya, not because of igrar. No, because Allah said that. In the deen and the light of Islam. So anyway, today inshallah we're going to come to some issues that are important after doing the suhoor. I want to talk very quickly today inshallah about some of the things that when you fast, the fast of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have to avoid these things. Or your fast will be thrown back at you. And we mentioned this before. We don't want to come Yawmul Qiyamah and we're those people who were the muflisun. Atadruna man al-muflis? You know who the bankrupt person is? The bankrupt person is the one who will come Yawmul Qiyamah. He had a lot of salat. He gave a lot of sadaqah, zakat. He fasted. He made hajj. He did all of that. And amr al-ma'ruf and then al-munkar. He gave da'wah Allah. He did all of that. But he spilled his blood. He lied on him. He took his money. He didn't give him the amana. He made ghib of him. He did this, he did that. And now those people want to take his fast. Who in his right mind is going to fast today, every day, and at the end of the day, you're just fasting to give your fast? Who does that except the Safi, Rabi, Majnoon? He's Majnoon. Wallahi, this masjid pays me money for doing a job. If they said to me at the end of the month, we're just going to give you half of the money, it's going to be a problem. They're going to have to explain to me why. Or it's going to be a problem. I'm going to break the windows. I'm going to break the table. You guys say, yeah, about Usamah, sabr. Yeah, you hear sabr. Nah, no sabr in this stuff. It's hassas to me because of the slavery of my ajdad, the riq. I have that thing in my head. I don't want any dhulm from people. And I'm super duper, hassas. So that's the dunya. What about your deeds? Gonna fast all day. I don't know about you, but today I'm starving like Marvin. Today, I'm hungry. Today. But I'm gonna keep being patient, inshallah. But where's the aql? I'm gonna fast all day. Thumma wazza' ala nas siyami wa salat. Who does that? We don't want to do that. So today, inshallah, we're gonna talk about a few things. The fast of the Nabi, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First thing we want to mention is what the Prophet used to mention, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to avoid, this is important for everybody, what is known as qawl az-zur. Qawl az-zur. That's when you say something that's not true. Qawl az-zur, to give false testimony. It's like going to the court and you're going to be a witness for someone and he's lying. And this is one of the problems with you young brothers if you want to be a muhami in the future, a lawyer. A lawyer in this system is a problem. Because a lot of times that your client is guilty. O.J. Simpson, he killed those people. Allahu Akbar. He killed those people. Now I'm going to be his lawyer to try to help him to beat a case where he murdered people. So Yawm al-Qiyamah, I'll be responsible for murdering the person. Ad-dalu ala shay kafa'ilihi. So qawl al-zur is when you bear witness that's not true. Qawl al-zur is also just saying kalam farik, it's not true. Like someone to come to you joking. He's joking, he's not serious, but he'll say something happened, he did something. And then in joking he'll say, right, did we do that? You saw it, right? And you say, yeah, just no. Qawl al-zur. The Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, man lam yada' qawl al-zur wal amala bihi falaysa lillahi haja an yada'a ta'amu wa sharabu. Anyone who doesn't avoid this qawl al-zur, he doesn't abandon it, then Allah doesn't have any need for him to abandon his food and his drink. So listen, qawl al-zur is anything and everything that is not truthful, and you agree with it. You agree with it. Anything and everything that's not truthful. From the qawl al-zur, for an example, is saying to non-Muslims, Merry Christmas. That's qawl al-zur. Never was Christmas merry, for an example. Anything that's not true. Anything. If you watch it, if you hear it, if you speak it, it goes against the facts. Allah makes it haram for us to take the halal, the mubah in our lives. It's halal to drink Coca-Cola, Zamzam water, orange juice. What's that thing called? Sorrel. They call it hibiscus. Sorrow, huh? They have that in Sudan as well. It's called karkade. Karkade. Allah made all of this halal. Cold zamzam, cold milk. But in Ramadan it's haram. He made halal for us to eat food. In Ramadan, haram. During the daylight hours. He made our wives halal for us. Akramakum Allah. In Ramadan, haram. So a person, he stays away from all of that, but then he falls into qawl al-zur. And Allah Ta'ala has made qawl al-zur haram in the Quran. In the Quran. So another hadith, he mentions sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ وَرُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهْرِ. It may be in fact someone fasts, but he's only making himself hungry. Someone stands up at night and he prays Taraweeh, Qiyam al-Layl, but he's only making himself tired because he's not doing it the right way. We have to make jihad, ikhwan. Qawl al-zur. The next one is al-laghu wal-raf is important. Al-laghu wal-raf. That's the reality of the dunya, and we have to get our ibadat away from this. Like Allah mentioned in the Quran, فَمَنْ فَرِضَ الْحَجُّ أَشْهُرٌ مَعْلُومَاتٍ فَمَنْ فَرِضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ فَلَا رَفَثْ وَلَا فَسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. Hajj is for certain months. You can make Hajj in certain months. So whoever's going to make Hajj, don't do Rafath, don't do Fasuq, and don't do Jidal. Don't make Hajj when you do this thing, because if you make Hajj and you're doing this stuff, go back and pray and make Hajj. You didn't make Hajj. Irja, fasalli, finnaka lam tusalli. Go back and pray. You didn't pray. So I've seen in Hajj, I've seen with my own eyes the fitna of the mobile phone. In Umrah, it's your own eyes. People are watching things that have no benefit. Even pornography. Even pornography. And in order to get pornography in Mecca and Medina, you have to get an IPN or something they call it. Because they have a block, you can't even make a phone call with WhatsApp. You can't make a phone call. You could do voice messages, but if you get an IPN, whatever that is, you can get around it. So they make it so it's hard to access porno. But if you know what you're doing, you can access porno. In Mecca and Medina, who does that, making Hajj or Umrah? Who does that? People do it. That's how it goes. So the Prophet told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, من حج لله ولم يرفث ولم يفسق رجع كيوم ولدته أمه. Anyone who prays Hajj, does Hajj, and he didn't have this rough, and he didn't do this fusuq, and he made Hajj like that, he comes home like a newborn baby. Ramadan is the same way. If you fast the correct way without al-rafath. Al-rafath is that kalam and those actions that have no benefit. It's the thing that you do that doesn't have any benefit. Let me ask you guys, does reading the Quran have any benefit? Does walking to the masjid have any benefit? Does serving the Muslims food for iftar benefit in it? The woman gets up in the morning, makes suhoor for her husband and children. Is that beneficial? If a man were to be with his wife, is that beneficial? Yes, all of that's beneficial. All of that's beneficial. There was a companion, he was sitting and he was plucking the rocks, and the companion Abdullah bin Mughaffal came by. He said, don't do that. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam naha anhu. He said, don't do that. Rasulullah prohibited it. He said, it won't help in jihad. It's not a silah. You can't hurt the enemy with that. He said, and you may knock someone's eye out. You may break someone's tooth. So don't do that. Because it's rough, it's not beneficial. So just sitting around wasting time, no benefit. That song like that is a problem. And also, Ar-Rafith is also talking about things that are inappropriate as it relates to women as well. That's Ar-Rafith. The kalam that is about women. The Salaf, if someone started talking about women in their majlis, the Salaf used to say, get out of our majlis. Get out of our majlis talking about women. We have bigger fish to fry, bigger nuts to crack. And Allah yuhibbu ma'ali al-umur. Yani, get out of our majlis talking about women. There was a companion. He was a mukhannith. A mukhannith is kind of like a metrosexual. He's not really manly, but not gay. But he's like not manly. A mukhannith. He said to one of his relatives, the Prophet was going to go and make jihad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said to his relative, Ya Fulan, when you go with Rasulullah for the jihad, when you go, make sure you go to the house of Fulan ibn Fulan, a well-man known amongst the kuffar. He said because he has some daughters. One of his daughters, if she turns towards you, she turns towards you with 4. If she turns and gives her back, she gives you 8. You know what that means? فَانْتُمْ يعني قَسْتُهُ. So I don't have to go into the tafsir, right? Because the awlad. If she faces you with arba'. When أقبلت عليك, أقبلت عندها ثمانية. Meaning that she's beautiful. Something, Rasulullah heard that. He said, get that man out of my house. Get him out of my house. And Imam al-Bukhari brings Sahih Bukhari, Bab إخراج المخنثين من بيوت المسلمين. Mukhannith. So that kalam of the women, that's also a rafith. It's haram. Shouldn't be done. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, ليس الصيام من الأكل والشرب. إنما الصيام من الرفث واللغو. فإن سابك أحد فقل إني صائم. إني صائم. He said fasting is not leaving alone food and drink. That's not fasting. That's not fasting. He said fasting is avoiding a rafith and avoiding a level. A level is when you just, wasted movements. That's what it is. Like in the Jummah, if the Imam is giving the khutbah and you are sitting there playing with rocks, that's a level. Playing with rocks is a level while the Imam is giving the khutbah. A level is the thing that brings no benefit. So for our Shabbat, and I wish more of them were here today, from a level is playing with that PlayStation. You have a PlayStation? Playing with the PlayStation will kill your time. The games that they have on social will kill your time. A level, listening to music. A level, watching the TV. Watching the TV. I think when we sit down and we watch these musalsalat, in the Arab world, they had these people, Adil, what's his name? From Egypt. What's his name? Imam, Adil Imam. These people make you laugh. They make you laugh. This is the problem, the inhidar of our ummah, that we have time to sit down and look at comedians. You know that guy smacked the other guy the other day? He smacked him at the Oscars. Will Smith slapped him. He's a comedian, mumathil, actor. This one is a comedian, mumathil, actor. Both of their jobs is to send people astray. That's why they make so much money. Every society, no matter how poor the society is, they're gonna have Will Smith in that society, and they're gonna have their own Chris Rock in that society. Because people love to watch TV and get, entertaining. So the ruh, the spirit of fasting is one where the person does it. But now the question is, does that mean we can't laugh with our children and our wives? Does that mean we can't, nula'ibuhum, that we can't play and joke with them? That doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that at all. We could do that, but even that, it has its had. So as it relates to this issue, the Prophet ﷺ said, fasting is not that you leave your food and the drink. As we mentioned the other day, it's not the luhum and it's not the dima that reaches Allah, but it is the taqwa that you have that reaches Allah. Nobody not fasting doesn't help Allah, doesn't benefit him at all. وَلَهُ الْحَمْدُ فِي الْأُولَى وَالْآخِرَةِ. Allah Ta'ala كَانَ يُحْمَدْ وَيُعْبَدْ. Before Bani Adam was created, before Bani Adam was here, Allah Ta'ala was being worshipped by the Malaika. And anyone else from his creation, the jinn that he wanted to worship him, Allah was being worshipped. So Bani Adam coming to the scene and worshiping Allah with Tawheed, with Salah, with Zakat, with Sawm, with Hajj, لا يزيد في ملكه شيئا. So our fast, there's a hadith, لا خلوف الصائم أحب إلى الله تعالى من أطيب المسك. The bad breath that comes from the faster is more beloved to Allah than perfume. Allah doesn't need perfume that we use. Doesn't need that. Allah Ta'ala, that smell, that kalam, that hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is explained to us. Allah loves, and He loves بِتَرِيقَةٍ تَلِيقُ بِجَلَالَتِهِ. He loves. He doesn't love like we love. He loves. And He loves that khuluf is there. But does Allah benefit from that? La wallahi. Should never think that. So our fasting and stuff doesn't benefit Allah one bit. It benefits us. So the point is, stay away from those things that compromise your fast. Now we just pray Salah. We're still in the masjid. We're learning about our religion. After this, inshallah, we'll do the Quran, and that's how you have to keep doing. After you do the Quran, you go home, you help your mother, you help your father. After that, you come back to the masjid. Get ready for the iftar. After that, you stay in the masjid, you help clean up the masjid. After that, we pray at Isha and the Tarawih. And after that, you go home, you go to bed, and make the dhikr, like that every day. As for the one who, the majority of his time is wasting time, this is a problem. Also, from that, ikhwani, we have to mention, those are the main things from what should be avoided. Now from the things that people do, that we always get these questions, is this thing breaking your fast? Does this thing compromise your fast? We just want to talk real quickly about these things, and then we read the Quran, inshallah ta'ala. These are the things that if you do these things, they don't affect your fast. For an example, number one, if you wake up in the morning and you're junub. Muhammad, you know junub? If you wake up in the morning and you are junub, it doesn't break your fast at all. Aisha and our mother Salama, radiyallahu anhuma, they said that the Prophet would wake up sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the days of Ramadan and he was junub. No problem. It's from what Allah Ta'ala made halal. You just make al-ghusl and that's it. So waking up with janaba has no ta'fir on a man's soul. Also, if a person is sleeping during the course of the day, fahtarama, he had a dream, nocturnal dream, and he became junub, that doesn't break his fast as well. That doesn't break his fast as well. There's some other issues connected to this. We're not going to talk about them. It's not the time for that, but if the question came out, we'll deal with it. But basically speaking, a janaba doesn't affect your fast at all. The second issue is, and this is important because it always comes, the issue of a siwak, brushing your teeth. Whether you brush your teeth with the miswak, or you brush your teeth with the toothbrush without any ma'jun, or you brush your teeth with a toothbrush and you have ma'jun. Or a person who brushes his teeth and he puts Listerine or whatever, scope in his mouth to get rid of the khuluf, that smell. It doesn't break your fast as long as you don't swallow that stuff. And no one swallows that intentionally. No one does that intentionally. And the dalil for that is that the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told the people, if I was not afraid, lola anni khiftu alaykum, if it wasn't that I was afraid it would be difficult, I'd have told you to use the siwak for every prayer. And he didn't make any istifna. He didn't say in Ramadan or outside of Ramadan. He said every prayer. He was encouraging us to use miswak for every prayer for the rest of your life. But for the most part, it's hard for us to keep up with the miswak. It's hard. But to use the miswak on your prayer will raise your prayer up. And it's a sunnah that is maldiyah all through the year. If I wasn't afraid, I'd have told you. And that's the rahmah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam upon us, that he was making things easy for us. So if a person brushes his teeth, no problem. If he does it with toothbrush, toothpaste, with a miswak stick, all of that is permissible. Even if the miswak, some of them, they have flavors to them. They have minty miswak sticks. Whatever it is. Just because no one's going to bite that and eat it, it's not going to get nourished by it. So this is something that is permissible. Second and third thing that you can do is what is known as the madmada and the inshaq, the istinshaq. The madmada is when you gargle your mouth, like in wudu, and you spit the water out. If a person does that while fasting, in order to feel good or to get rid of the smell, it's permissible, provided you don't swallow the water. And also, an istinshaq is when you put the water in your nose for wudu. Or let's say you have sores in your nose, or you have a cold and you want to put it in your nose to get the zukam out. Karamakumullah. You can do this, it doesn't break your wudu. The Nabi told the people to make isbag al-isbag in the wudu, to do a good istinshaq. He said, illa in takun sa'ima, except if you're fasting. If you're fasting, when you make wudu, don't put a lot of water in there. Just put a little bit of water and don't breathe it in. There is one prayer where we should do istinshaq bishidda. Anybody know what prayer that is? Al-Rahmah. What's the prayer that when we make wudu for that one prayer, 5 prayers every day, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, there's one prayer of these 5. When we make wudu, Prophet Muhammad said, put the water up your nose and blow it out hard. What prayer is that? No. You. Fajr prayer. What's the reason why? Because the shaitan sleeps in our nasal passage, the khayshuma. As a Muslim, my man, as a Muslim, is it a shaitan sleeps in my nose, your nose, his nose, 1 billion people's noses in the world. When you hear the hadith, as a Muslim, can you say, how does shaitan sleep in everybody's nose simultaneously? How? Can you say that? We just give it the program. Shaitan sleeps in the khayshuma. So the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for the Friday prayer, to make mubarakah, except if you're fasting. So to do it doesn't harm. Gargling and al-istinshaq. The next one, guys, is kissing your wife. Not kissing your girlfriend, not kissing another man, not kissing a dog, not kissing if you're young. Aisha said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to kiss her while he was fasting. And he said, Kana amlakakum. He had more power than all of you. Kana amlaka minkum. He was more in control of himself. The man came in the masjid and said, Ya Rasulullah, can I kiss my wife while I'm fasting? He said, yes. The other man, Ya Rasulullah, can I kiss my wife while I'm fasting? He said, no. Different answers to the same question. None of the companions said, oh, what is this? Sunnah ikhtilaf. Yes, no, just give me the Quran. They didn't say that. They asked him, Ya Rasulullah, why did you say yes to him, no to him? He said, because this one was a sheikh, he was an older man, and he is in charge, he has strength. Just kissing, that's it. This one over here is a young man, and he doesn't have that strength. So if you're young from the shabab, don't do it. Because if you knock on that door of the qubla, then you'll be in the next door, and then the next door, then you'll be in trouble. So again, that's from the rahmah of the Nabi of Islam, who says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inni bu'ithtu bil hanifiyyat as-samha. The religion that makes things gentle and easy, where a man can show affection to his daughter, to his children, the people he loves. Is it permissible for a Muslim man to kiss his Muslim brother like some Arabs do, to show love and affection? Is that permissible? Yes. Yeah, that's permissible, because that's from the urf of the people, and it has no haram connotations connected to it. Some of the Arabs kiss on the nose, some of them kiss on the head, and some kiss on the side. That's permissible. We're not going to make that haram. That's a show of affection and respect. So kissing is permissible, provided you're an older person and you can control yourself. But if you're younger, you shouldn't get married in Ramadan. And if you are married, you got married in Rajab, you got married in Sha'ban, and you're newlywed, then be careful in the month of Ramadan. Next one, we only have a few, inshallah, is the hukna. People get shots during these days. They get the flu shot, they get the COVID shot, they get all kind of shots during these days. They get the vitamin 12, B12 shot, all kinds of shots people get during these days. Those shots do not compromise your fast. As long as the shot is not for at-Thahabi, as long as that shot is not giving you nourishment. Some people in the hospital and they can't eat. They're in a coma. So they give them the drip or they give them shots. That shot is not permissible because it's giving you strength and nourishment. But if you have to get a shot, COVID, if you have to get a shot, the booster, you have to get a flu shot, you have to get some, I wouldn't advise you because they're poisoning people. I tell you, don't get them shots. If you want to, hidari. But if you get it, it doesn't break your fast. Those kinds of shots, they don't break your fast. The next one is al-hijama. We have in Leeds, in this community, a lot of brothers are into the sunnah of al-hijama, and that's a good thing. Because if you go to other masajid, some people look down on the hijama as being backwards, when in fact, the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in Al-Isra al-Mi'raj, he said every time he went past a group of malaika in the Mi'raj to the seventh heaven, he said the malaika would tell him, Ya Muhammad, ala ummatika al-hijama. Tell your ummah to do the hijama. So the hijama is beneficial. Now there is ikhtilaf. There's a hadith that says, Aftara al-hajim wal-mahjum. The one who gives the hijama broke his fast. And the one who the hijama is being done for broke his fast. That's an authentic hadith. فَقَدْ أَفْطَرَ الْحَاجِمُ وَالْمَحْجُومُ. If you give someone hijama and put the thing on him, you broke your fast. And the one who got the hijama done, he broke his fast. Another dalil about at-ta'awun. The ayah said, وَالتَّعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Help each other in what is right, what is correct. Don't help each other in what is wrong. If you help someone in what is wrong, you get the sin of that. You help someone in what is right, you get the reward of that. You get the reward of that. Like in Surah Al-Asr, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Everybody in the state of law, except those who believe, do righteous deeds, and they mutually tell each other, be on the haqq. Mutually tell each other, have sabr. Mutually. So you get the reward when you do that. So the hijama breaks the fast. But then Abdullah ibn Abbas, he was asked about the Prophet's fast, and he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the Prophet did hijama while he was fasting. Ihtajama Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa huwa sa'im. He said he had hijama while he was fasting. So there's ikhtilaf between the scholars. Some of the scholars say the hijama breaks the fast. Some of them say the hijama doesn't break the fast. It appears, and Allah knows best, that the hijama does not break the fast. That if you got a hijama, it doesn't break the fast. And as any hajim would tell you, anyone does hijama, when you do the hijama in normal days, you shouldn't eat before doing the hijama. So it has the most effect on you. You shouldn't eat. So if a person is fasting during the days of hijama, they say this is a good time to actually do the hijama. It'll have more effect on you. Allah knows best. If a person has any doubt about it, then leave what you doubt for what you don't doubt. But it appears it's permissible to do the hijama while you're fasting or in the month of Ramadan. Also, what is the ruling of tasting food to see if it's okay, too much salt, not enough salt, is it cooked okay? This is permissible. They asked Abdullah ibn Abbas, and Abdullah ibn Abbas said it's okay for a person to taste the khal, the food, to see if it has vinegar too much. He said, as long as you don't swallow it. So if a person tastes the food, the husband, the wife, whoever's cooking, you taste the juice, and then you spit it out, no problem. It doesn't harm. A number of the companions, their wives did it, their slaves did it, their concubines did it, and they saw it being done, and they allowed it. So if you taste the food, just don't swallow it. Number 3, the dukhan, what do you call that? Not the dukhan, the bakhor. Incense. Using incense, whether it's the stick, whether it's the thing you put the fahm in, the coal, and it's a lot. Some people have the opinion that goes inside of your body and it breaks your fast. No one in his right mind is going to sit to smell smoke in order to get nourished. No one does that. But it should be avoided, because while fasting, that can give you a headache, get you sick. Also, these cars, people outside cars, the exhaust give off a lot of smoke. Some people think that breaks your fast if you're stuck in traffic and you're smelling that smoke. It has nothing to do with your fast. Nothing whatsoever. It's like if you lived on the farm, you'll smell the animals on the farm. They're there. That doesn't break your fast. It doesn't have anything to do with your fast. The job that you may have. You have a job, they make cereal. It's going to give off an odor. They make deodorant. It's going to give off an odor. That doesn't break your fast. It has nothing to do with your fast. The last thing that we want to mention, Khwani, is the issue of the
Kohol.
The kohol. You know that black stuff you put on your eyes? There is a sunnah where the Prophet ﷺ used to encourage men to use the kohol, because it's from the tip and nabawi. And if you have da'f in your vision, this kohol can help you, especially in particular kohol called I forgot the name of it. I forgot. There's a kohol that he encouraged the people, use this one. The sheikh is going to look for it. Marfed, I think it's Marfed. Marfed. Yes, I think that's the name of it. So he used to, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, put an even number in the right eye and an odd number in the left eye. And how do you do it? You know that little thing for the perfume? You put that inside of the kohol, it comes out, you put it under your eye, you pull it like that. You do 3 times in the right, 3 times in the left, and you go to sleep with it. Now the people of At-Tasawwuf, our brothers from Jamaat Tabligh, they take that kohol and they put it around their eyes to make them look
أثمت yeah. أثمت.
ethmar.
أثمت yeah.
Yeah. They put it and you go out. Men shouldn't do that. Men should not do that. But you find that if they ever visit your masjid and they come and they sleep in your masjid, and this is something that people of At-Tasawwuf, they make themselves, beautify themselves by putting kohol on the outside of that. First of all, the istikhdam is wrong. And second of all, who puts kohol on their eyes for tajammud? Who does that? That's a question. Who beautifies himself with kohol to go outside? Who does that? Or for their, who does that? Women do that. Women do that. When we come home, our wives have mascara on and they do that kohol for the beauty of our husband. A man shouldn't do that. A man should get in shape, run, exercise, get muscles so that when he gets married, he handle his business. Women are the ones who are beautiful and easy and stuff like that. Last thing we want to mention, and then inshallah we finish here, is the issue of al-ghusl. Al-ghusl. We already told you janaba doesn't have an effect or an impact on your fast. So if you woke up junub, you can take a ghusl. But some people think during the course of the day, if it's real hot and you're tired, if you pour water on your head, you break your fast. If you take a nice cool shower to calm down, to relax, you break your fast. There are people who have that opinion, and that's not true. You can take a ghusl, no problem. No problem. So we're going to stop here now, inshallah. You guys have any questions about what we mentioned today? Put your question. Tafadhal ya Sheikh.
There's an inhaler, because people use when they have the asthma thing, the inhaler.
Good question. The inhaler for people who have asthma doesn't break your fast, because the inhaler is not something you're doing to get food, nourishment. You're doing it to help you breathe, to open up your lungs. Similar to it is that thing for the cigarette smoke, the nicotine patch. But you have to be careful. Some of those nicotine patches, they send out poison in your body. They release poison in your body, so some of them are a problem. Similar to those e-cigarettes. They're telling us that the e-cigarettes are more harmful than the regular tobacco cigarettes. And you find now young people smoking e-cigarettes like nobody's business. So the inhaler doesn't break your fast. The nicotine patch doesn't break your fast. Getting a shot in your tooth doesn't break your fast. Pulling your tooth out doesn't break your fast. What breaks your fast? Having relationships, drinking, eating, or doing something that is going to give you nourishment. Any more questions? Fadli ya akhi.
What about a lot of people say that brushing your teeth with toothpaste breaks your fast. Does it or not?
Brushing your teeth with toothpaste does not break your fast. What's the proof? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to encourage people to use the miswak in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan. And if you use the miswak, it has a taste to it. And if you use the miswak, pieces are gonna come off in your mouth. So you spit them out. Now if you swallow that stuff, now it's a different story. So if a person brushes his teeth and then gargles, rinses it out, no problem. But you should remember the khuluf, the smell of that fasting breath, Allah loves it. But hey, some of us are professionals. We're around people. And when you're around people, you don't want your breath to be offensive to them. If one of us smells your breath, you smell my breath, I smell your breath, we know you have no food in your stomach. And we say, Allah loves that. So if Allah loves it, it's okay with me. I'm mustaslim to that, no problem. But the non-Muslim is not like that. He's going to think, where's your hygiene? Where's your hygiene? That's what they're going to say. And you guys got to be able to recognize that as you get older. Having fiqh in the religion. Did you know it's okay? Prophet Muhammad used to walk without his socks, his shoes on. Did you know that? Is it okay for us to go to work one day without our shoes? Is that okay? And then we say Prophet Muhammad did this, the sunnah. Can we do that? We're going to say, no, what you talking about? It's the sunnah. If something fell down on the ground, Rasulullah would pick it up and clean it off. A date fell on the ground and clean it off and he would eat it. If you're eating the ice cream and it fell on the ground, you're going to pick it up and clean it up. Say, Rasulullah cleaned it. You're going to say that? No. And now if you said it around people who understand, no problem. But even that is a level of ghulu in some of that, okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. السلام عليكم. Okay, everyone, we're going to do the Quran.
قرآن إن شاء الله.
غرباء غرباء غرباء